Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. My dear respected brothers, elders, youngsters and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Tonight, inshallah, we will be reciting the 10th juz of Quran, followed by Surah Al-Anfal and Surah Al-Tawbah. So the final 10 verses of Surah Al-Anfal, the spoils of war, remind the believer that victory in battle is not dependent on the numbers. It is dependent on the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come with the ones who are God conscious, who are adoring taqwa, who believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not in the weapons, it is not in the tools, it is in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, put love and affection, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes the conditions of the hearts. It also covers the issue of the prisoners that were captured by war at the time of the Battle of Badr. And further ahead, it also mentions towards the end of the surah about the importance of believers protecting one another. That how we have to help each other, regardless of them being our non-Muslim brothers and sisters, or from any other religion, from any other culture, from any other country. In the name of mankind, in the name of humanity, we have to serve and help each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This world is not going to give anything, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reward which He's going to give us, what's the biggest reward? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put our love into the hearts of other people. Why? Because we are being nice to others. Irhamu man fil ard, yarhamukum man fis sama. And then further ahead, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts Surah Al-Tawbah in tonight's recitation. The only chapter in Quran which does not start by Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is because it is widely regarded that to be a continuation of the previous chapter. One of the narrations dealing with similar issues of moral distinction between the believers and their enemies. It was revealed in the 9th year of Hijrah and proclaimed the end of idol worshipping in the Arabian Peninsula. So what do we learn from tonight's recitation? Number 1, we continue the disclosure of the Battle of Badr and the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Surah At-Tawbah begins by defining the limits to the pact between Allah, the messengers, and the pagans. Number 3, the Islamic calendar is mentioned, and the honor and the sacredness of the months is also explained. The Muslims are encouraged to go out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to serve the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you define going out in the path of Allah? You came from your house till the masjid as if you're in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You pack up some food for the poor and deliver it to them, you're in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any help you do for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You go to others and preach them good, amar bil ma'roof, and protect them from nahi anil munkar, as if you are in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You go to Baytullah for Hajj and Umrah, you are in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 4, the qualities of hypocrites is also mentioned. Al-munafiquna wal-munafiqat ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd. So munafiqs, the hypocrites, their qualities have been mentioned, and the believers, wal-mu'minuna wal-mu'minatu ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd. Ya'muruna bil-ma'roof wa yanhawna 'anil munkar wa yuqimuna as-salah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining the qualities of the believers and the hypocrites. In the end, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is prohibited from seeking help from the hypocrites at the times of war or any other calamity, and is also prohibited to seek forgiveness on their behalf. As mentioned in the last page, istaghfir lahum aw la tastaghfir lahum. That, oh my dear Nabi, oh my Prophet, you ask for forgiveness for them, or you don't ask for forgiveness. In tastaghfir lahum 70 marra. You ask for forgiveness for them even 70 times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still not forgive them. Why? ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَفَرُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive who play games with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From their heart there's something else, from outside there's something else. إِن تَسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ 70 مَرَّةً فَلَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never forgive them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and give us all the tawfiq to act upon whatever we have heard, to understand Quran, to propagate Quran and to read the Quran with tafsir and its meaning and to help each other inshaAllah. Jazakallahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.